Okay. So I made the OxyClean man died. Alright, a couple months ago. Well, I don't know if it was damn near a year ago or what. I really don't remember when I made this video. But I made a video about niggas dying. It was about Isaac Hayes and, you know, all of them just kicking the bucket. And this isn't really meant to be a sequel, but somebody left a comment on it about the recent passings of all the recent passings. So I was like, I guess I gotta, you know, talk about it, even if it may be funny, it may not be funny. I mean, I don't know, I got nothing to say. Okay, the first person that died that threw me off was, of course, David Carradine. You know, Kwai Chang Kang, the nigga from Kung Fu, the nigga from Kill Bill, as all the children know him as the dude from Kill Bill. He died in, what, Thailand, Bangkok, something like that, getting freaky. And when I first heard it, like, that he died, okay, my mother was she was in the other room. She was, like, in the kitchen. I was like, David Carradine died. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, look, it came up on the bottom of the TV. It was just, like, one of them scrolls down on the bottom. And I was like, he died. And she's like, how'd he die? I'm like, I don't know yet. So I went, text myself away, get some more information, and I found out he hung himself. Okay, at first they said he hung himself. And I'm like, why would you hang yourself in the middle of making a movie unless you really, really hate the movie? So I'm like, no. He didn't just hang himself. Something freaky had to go on. I don't know if he, like, accidentally got with, like, one of them infamous ladyboys in Taiwan and he couldn't take it anymore, but I was like, something went on. It was either autoerotic asphyxiation or maybe he did something strange and he just couldn't get back to himself and he just hung himself. But I could not see, you know, committing suicide in the middle of the movie unless he was just that Asian where he was like, this movie's such a letdown, I must commit Harry Carey, just, you know. So that went on for a while. They did their whole investigation. They stamped it off as that. That was it. Then I saw, you know, one of the Publishers Clearance House sweepstake commercials, and this lady, this math teacher in Patterson had won some money, and I was like, that's enough to give somebody a heart attack. It was a joke. Then Ed McMahon died, and I was like, obviously it gave him a heart attack. So, you know, being as of in the other video, I mentioned, like, they say death comes in threes. They was like, oh, that's dead man number 2. Okay, what's good? But then Farrah Fawcett died. And I came home, I don't remember. I just walked in from somewhere. I think I went to the store. And my mom was on the phone with Jessie, and she goes, Farrah Fawcett died. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Somebody told me. But I mean, that wasn't a surprise. I mean, she had that whole situation planned out. Like, she knew it was going to go down. So you couldn't even, like, be shocked about it. I mean, you know, she had the documentary. She even had an invitation list for her funeral. I was like, that's what's up. You got it on lock where you could just banish niggas from even your final viewing. Like, I don't want him in here. He used to give me an attitude. I don't want some fake niggas in my funeral. I don't want any flowers. Dump me in the Passaic River. You know, just do whatever you want. Got your will right. I mean, I thought it was really greasy how the documentary showed her son, Redmond, the asshole, all handcuffed up and whatever when he went to visit her. That really wasn't cool. I'm like, what's the point of, you know, not wanting your mother to know that you're in jail just for her to find out you're in jail? But then again, if he's dumb enough to visit somebody in prison for having drugs with drugs on him, then he's not batting 1,000. So she died. Several hours later, Michael Jackson died, and the sun was blocked out completely. I was in the bathroom, just sitting on the edge of the tub, texting, and I got, you know, the initial message. Yo, Michael Jackson's dead. I'm like, okay, what? I wasn't shocked, like, it wasn't like a thing where I thought it was a joke. So I'm like, okay, Michael Jackson's dead. And he's like, yeah, he's dead, okay. So I investigate further, and I'm like, alright, yeah, Michael Jackson's dead. So I tell everybody, and then I come in and I tell my mother. She's still on the phone with Jessie because it's all in one day. It's like within an hour. And she goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, he's dead. Go look. And this was before it really broke on the news, whatever. So I sit down, I go back in my spot, and I'm getting phone calls now like, are you joking? And I'm like, no, who comes up with that? I never understood the aspect of coming up with a fake celebrity's dead joke. How is that funny? I mean, I know when Marvin Gaye died, he died on like April Fool's, and my mother thought it was a joke, and it was like sick or whatever. A bunch of people seem to have thought it was a joke. But I'm like, that shit's never funny. You know, if you're gonna come up with somebody being dead, you better make it really good. Like, you know, the nigga that run the grocery store down the street's dead. Well, go see. You know, I'm more of a, like, instant gratification thing. It has to be like something you can go see like right now. Like, dude jumped out the window, he's still down there. So, you know, a dead celebrity joke ain't working for me. So Michael Jackson died and everybody went crazy. That completely just consumed and just overtook the land. Poor Farrah Fawcett got nothing. They played whatever they was gonna play already on her, and that was just done over and dealt with. Everybody was just, Michael's dead. You need to find out what's good. To me, they haven't really investigated the death thoroughly. I mean, how can one be on Demerol and Oxycontin and all this stuff and still be even coherent enough to pop a move, let alone get up out of a chair? I mean, the dude was like 100 pounds. I mean, I got more weight on me than him, and I'm pretty sure if you pump me up full of anything, I would be sitting down. And they're like all concerned with his will, and he wants the kids to go to his mother, or to, you know, Diana Ross, which seems fine to me. You know what? Diana Ross's kids, they don't seem crazy. They seem alright. And she's not that old. Everybody's like, what if Diana Ross dies? I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. Nobody want to talk about Diana Ross dying. Diana Ross gonna outlive everybody, including Beyonce. So then the OxyClean man dies. The OxyClean man died when I don't remember where I was, tell you the truth. I just came back and somebody was like, the OxyClean man died. And I'm like, his name's Billy Mays. And he died from all the fumes from everything that he was selling, because we all know that shit was toxic. But it turns out he had a heart attack, and he was 50 years old, so I was like, damn. And then somebody was like, that's death number 4, and I'm like, no, it's number 5. We on a roll, okay? Death is not doing a clean sweep of Hollywood. This nigga's got a vacuum cleaner. He's sucking them all down. Then Karl Malden died, but he was old as hell. So it was like, okay, the dude from Streets of San Francisco with the little nose, he died. But it's like, he was 97. Which is like reasonable, but he's like the oldest person out of all of them. He's like the only nigga that can actually say, okay, I'm ready to go. Everything else was kind of, But nobody knows who Karl Malden is, so I'm like, I want to end this on a Google Karl Malden. Find out who he is. Because, you know what? Some of his crap is pretty good. Hey. Oh yeah, somebody running around trying to say Jimmy Walker's dead. Anybody watching this that think Jimmy Walker's dead, Jimmy Walker is not dead. Esther Roll is dead. Esther Roll died ages ago. That's the only person on that show that has, like, kicked the bucket. So yeah, whoever started the Jimmy Walker joke, you're sick. That's just nasty. He's a creepy dude, but he doesn't deserve to have death wished on him.